Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is all about a message from your subconscious mind. So, by this, we mean anything that is or has been within your awareness and your memories, stored in your brain as data that you just might not be focused on right now or currently aware of. And so we're just seeing what your subconscious mind wants to bring your focus to at this time for your highest good and in your best interest. So we're going to get messages on what that is and why it's coming up right now and what you can do with that information. So advice for you in terms of working with whatever's coming to your conscious mind at this time through this reading. So that's what we'll be doing. I am going to, as usual, do a little centering exercise before we get into the group selection. So I'm going to do that now. If you're interested in just getting centered and having a couple minutes of just brief meditation before you pick your group, feel free to join me. And if not, you can always skip ahead, use the timestamps in the description or in the pinned comment to navigate. And I will see you in the centering exercise if you're joining me. So if you are, welcome, thank you. Please do not join in with this if you're driving or you're focused on anything else right now, because this requires you to settle in and relax and maybe even close your eyes. So if you're not able to do that, you might want to come back at a different time and join in later. But for those of you who are able to join me in this practice, let's begin by getting into a comfortable position. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're able to just relax and take a seat or lie down, whatever's most comfortable for you. Get comfy, and if you feel called to, you may close your eyes and bring your attention to your breathing. And as always, we just notice our breathing. You don't have to make any adjustments, just notice what it feels like right now to breathe in and breathe out. Your breathing may adjust itself naturally as you bring your attention to it. Just notice that and allow it to happen. It may also help at this time to, as you breathe, bring your attention to your heart space and set the intention to center yourself in this moment and get in touch with your intuition. You may imagine that you are, in fact, inhaling and exhaling through your heart space directly. Just allow yourself to notice any sensations that arise within you, any feelings, any thoughts. Let them pass in and out of your awareness. And recognize that this is the natural ebb and flow of your subconscious and conscious minds. As the subconscious mind contains everything that's ever been in your conscious awareness that you are able to access if a memory is called up by a certain smell or thought or idea, or knowledge that you learned in the past is called up from your subconscious into your conscious. That's just how it works. Your conscious mind is like the flashlight that you can shine on any bit of your subconscious at any moment and regain awareness of it. And that is what we're playing with today, that relationship. And so at this time, if you're here in this reading, there's something that is in your subconscious mind that may benefit you to bring your focus to at this time. And that's what we're calling up now. So I am giving you the opportunity to set the intention to connect with whatever it is that your subconscious mind wants to make you aware of right now for your highest good, and set the intention that you will connect with the group that is in alignment with you, that will bring you the information and the advice that is in your highest good. And you will also intuitively know what information and what messages are truly for you and what is simply for someone else. And you will be able to distinguish and discern easily, and you'll take in that which is meant for you, and you will let go of anything that is just simply not for you. And an intention setting for me as well at this time, I set the intention to keep these messages focused and brief and really hone in on that which is most beneficial for everyone here in your highest good. And so with that, you may continue to rest here in meditation for a bit longer. If you would like to pause the video, feel free to do so and return when you are ready for your reading. But for anyone who's ready to move into the group selection, feel free to join me over there now. All right, so let's get into the group selection. So thank you for those of you who joined me for the centering exercise, and thank you to anyone else who's also here. I'm really excited about this reading. I'm hoping to keep it brief today, as that's what I have time for, but also because sometimes short and sweet and to the point is what we really need to hear. And so we'll see about that when we get into it. But I have 3 groups here for you today, and I have 3 quote cards, which if you haven't been to one of my readings on this channel before, you might not be aware of, are cards that I wrote a bunch of quotes on and then painted or drew on or did whatever came to mind intuitively at the time on the back of them. So there is a quote on the back of each of these cards, but we'll reveal that in your reading. For now, you can use the cards themselves or the crystals on top to help you pick. Also, the timestamps are in the description, so you can use the numbers there. Whatever you want to do, use your intuition. Let me get started by showing you the groups here. So we have group 1 with the Dalmatian Jasper and with this quote card. We have group 2 with the Malachite and this green and gray looking quote card. And we have group 3 here with this star-shaped tiger's eye pendant. And this card here. So those are your groups. Feel free to pause the video, take all the time you need to select your group. Trust your intuition. Trust yourself to know what messages are meant for you and what are not. And I will see you over in your reading. Group 1, if you selected this Dalmatian Jasper and this quote card, then you're in the right place. And this is your reading all about a message from your subconscious mind. So I already laid out your cards here. I did pre-pull them and select them for each group. And then I just figured, let's get them all laid out so we can just get right into the message. So I'm going to read this quote card and then we'll get into the rest of your cards. So your quote card says, "Life's a game, but only some bother to play." And this is from Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. And then we also have here the World card and the second house, which also says resources, to clarify basically what this message from your subconscious mind is about and what area of life it applies to. So with Life's a Game, but only some bother to play, and the World, when I was pulling your cards, I actually heard Endgame, the word, and also the song by Taylor Swift came to mind. As well as the movie Avengers Endgame as well. So those could be significant to you. They could contain messages in and of themselves if you want to listen to the song or watch the movie, or if those have some significance already, you might already be getting some messages from that, but just thought I'd bring that up. But I also feel like with that coming to mind, the concept of an endgame is about the concept of like a future. What's your future? And also potentially the concept of feeling as if maybe you don't know what your end game is or what your future holds. So there's some uncertainty there. But then we have second house with resources, which is really about, well, it's about money, abundance, and resources. And it's about also things like your values, your self-worth, your possessions, your attitude towards money and wealth. And so that is definitely what I feel like we're focusing on here, what your subconscious mind wants to bring to your attention. Now, when it comes to why this is coming to your attention right now, why we're focusing on your financial future, your end game, and your current attitude towards what that looks like or what that holds for you, we have the Tower and the Queen of Discs. So for some of you, this could be coming up because maybe you recently have experienced some changes in your home life, in your financial situation, maybe sudden or shocking changes. Or it could also be even just like the broader social and political and economic happenings of your global, of the globe, of the world, of the global economy, like all the stuff that's happening around the world. That could be what this tower is referring to. And for some of you, this could be coming up because like some of the stuff that's happening is either directly or indirectly impacting, I mean, not only your physical, like financial security, but your psyche, right? Your internal sense of security. Now, I feel like with the Moonology cards over here, with the supermoon, emotions are running high. You may have been experiencing like an uptick of anxiety or just intense emotion recently. And for some of you, like this is from your subconscious, right? So I feel like a lot of you have maybe not been, either you've not been as focused on your finances in general, like maybe you've been kind of avoiding it, like avoidant of it, like not even like wanting to check your bank account or like think too hard about even the concept of the future because that's too scary for you. For others of you, you could have been experiencing maybe an uptick in anxiety that you couldn't place, but might be coming from a subconscious fear around your finances that's being brought to the surface. So this is letting you know that that's why you're experiencing sudden anxiety. You might not consciously have been thinking of it, but like your subconscious is bringing to your attention that it's related to your security, your finances, and that's why emotions are running high right now. This also could be bringing to your attention some past times in your life where you've experienced intense emotions around finances. So, and maybe even abrupt endings or changes in terms of like maybe nothing's happened recently, but in the past you suddenly lost your job. And there could be things that are happening in the world now that are making you fear that same experience. Or even going back into childhood, maybe you grew up in a household where there was a parental figure who lost a job, or who you struggled as a family financially, and there were some times that things got really intense. And that's even coming up to the surface now with maybe some of the things, again, that are going on in the present for you. And at this time, you are being encouraged to face that head on, to not shy away from looking at your current financial situation and looking at your resources and your current relationship with them. How are you actually, how financially educated are you? How financially aware are you? How much time and attention do you put into that area of your life? Now, if the answer is a lot, but you also experience a lot of fear and anxiety and you kind of micromanage and you feel like a little bit of an obsession around it, that this could be a call to ease up a little bit, to lighten up, to bring maybe a more spiritual approach into how you look at and how you handle money, because you might be needing to actually take a step back a bit to say, hey, I'm educated, I'm aware, and I've set myself up for success in the best way that I've known how. But it's also time to maybe get more in touch with the non-physical reality, with the idea of a universe that can also help out, that can take the wheel, because you can't really micromanage or control or prevent unexpected events. You have to be able to allow things to happen and to not immediately see, there's a siren that's happening right now, so like not immediately sound the alarm and be like, oh my god, like this stock went down or that thing went down, so that means that like I made the wrong choice, I lost all this money. It's like, well, that kind of the stock market always fluctuates. And listen, I'm not a financial advisor here, so I'm not here to give you concrete financial advice. Maybe for some of you, you are being asked to be open to the idea of working with someone on your finances, and that could really help you, especially if you've been really avoidant, because that's the other end of the spectrum, right? So there's some of you who might be being asked to become more spiritual when it comes to your relationship with money and be more willing to be a little bit more hands-off and a little bit more relaxed and let things happen and fluctuate and not get so laser focused in on, oh my God, how can I like make the most of this, right? Don't make your life about the money. Process the intense emotion that you might have around the idea that you could lose money, right? There might be some, again, past memories that are coming up that are making it hard for you to let go a little bit. It's like, it's okay to let go. It's safe to let go. And you might want to develop your spiritual relationship with the idea that the universe will bring you abundance in all different forms, and that if you're open to it, you can always have enough if you start to open your mind and your spirituality to that. On the other hand, if you are someone who is very spiritually minded, but maybe not as focused on your finances as you could be in terms of actually taking physical steps in reality to learn more about it, to become financially educated, to set yourself up in a way that works with the current system as we have it on this earth, which, listen, may or may not. As things are changing, things always change. That's inevitable. And so it's not about getting so caught up in the present structure of the system and trying to make that work that you find it impossible to function if that were to fail. But it's also not about completely ignoring the way that the game of life has been structured at this time, and being able to know the rules and understand how the rules might change over time, how things currently work, but how things might also work in the future, and balance, really. The spiritual understanding that, listen, I can create a belief within myself that no matter what, I'll always have enough. Abundance comes to me in many forms, and I also can turn my attention to a more generous and open-hearted perspective where I'm not in such a survivalist mode when it comes to my resources, but I'm a little bit more open to the abundance that's already around me, that's present for me, and yet also balance that with the practical approach of, but it's also good to take that into account, to work with the system that we're in, to create or build my financial life up in a way where I do feel secure in the current structure, or at the very least I'm paying enough attention that I can account for some things that could happen in the process of everything that's happening in the world today that will allow me to remain secure and remain and not be so impacted by like the intense tower moments that might happen and might be happening right now, right? Like there's a spiritual and practical approach that are both important and both necessary to help you feel secure, right? Because security doesn't just come from the number in your bank account or the amount of assets you have, or I don't know. I'm not a financial person either. I'm definitely learning in that area as well. But like security doesn't just come from the physical world, the 3D, the things that you can see and already know are in place, because everything changes. Things that we're sure one day can be unsure the next day, and we have to be okay with that, and we have to understand that that's a part of life. And on the other hand, we can work with what we know now. The knowledge that we have, the current status of things, we can do our best with what's in place at the moment, and work within that as well. It doesn't have to be an either or. And so I feel like that's what you're really being asked to do. And you may be on one extreme or the other in terms of being really spiritually focused, but like maybe just not so grounded in the physical reality in terms of how you address your resources and finances. And on the other hand, you could also be someone who's like really focused on like the 3D, the money, and you don't feel like there's any spiritual support for you, and you don't know how to access that, or you just have not really been spending as much time getting spiritually connected. This for you, it's time for you to open up to that, to be like, hey, like maybe I don't have to micromanage every aspect of my wealth, and maybe I don't have to have such a survivalist attitude towards it. Because we also have it's time to give rather than take. And with this advice, I'm feeling like something that could help you with this process of changing your relationship with finances and opening up to more abundance and playing this game of life is to play a little game with yourself when it comes to spending money. And that the specific thing that's coming to me right now is anytime that you have to spend money or you want to spend money, really consider whether you feel good about where your money is going to and how confident you feel in giving your money away. And in some cases, this might make you reflect on, well, do I need to actually spend this money? Do I actually approve of who's gaining from this? Does that feel good with me? Does that sit well with my soul, right? Does this how do I actually feel about spending money on this thing? Not because of necessarily even whatever you're spending money on, but because of where it's going to, right? Do you have any moral objections to the places that you're spending money right now? And can you circumvent that? Can you get around that? And in other cases, can you maybe be at peace with the money that you're spending because you're actually spending it on something that you believe in or that benefits you or someone around you in a way where you're like, you know what, it's okay. I'm at peace with this, and I know that it's going towards something that's worth it in one way or another. And can you also maybe open your heart to the idea even that if you set the intention to, your resources, whatever you choose to spend them on and use them on, when you make that choice, when you're just like, yes, I'm going to give this amount of money towards this thing or towards something that I need, or I'm going to spend this amount, whatever it is, can you set the intention that it make its way through the world, it circulates out there in the world in a way that is of the highest good for you and everyone else, that will be for the best. Even if you can't personally understand how that's going to work and you can't see how that's going to work, can you start to believe in a reality where things are working out for the best, even if you don't know how that's going to work yet, even if you don't have the evidence for that? And play with that, play with that for yourself. You might find that you start to make changes in terms of how and where you spend your money and why you spend your money, but you also might find that your attitude towards spending money shifts in a way as well. And you might be surprised at how this opens you up to the abundance that's already available to you, and also to bringing in more of it and feeling more secure and feeling like you're more set up for a more prosperous future. So let me just TLDR in terms of like actionable items from this. 1, up your financial education, or be open to looking more mindfully at your finances and how you're spending your money and starting to learn more about that if you feel like that's something you're lacking. 2, if you're lacking more in terms of spiritual beliefs and spiritual trust around money, start to develop that more. Start to see if you can work with a higher power or embrace the idea that maybe the universe has your back and maybe you will continue to be supported if you let go a little bit when it comes to your finances and don't feel the need to be quite so survivalist in your thinking when it comes to that. And 3, really consider how you feel about where your money is going to, and think about spending money as the process of giving energy, giving resources, and think about if you feel good about where you're giving your money to, and shift it if you don't. Think about ways that you can creatively feel better about spending your money, and feel also even in the moment, just shift your perspective on, okay, like, what is this money? What is my intention really with spending this money? And how do I feel about where it's going or what it's going to? Is it something that aligns with me? Is it something that feels good? Can I shift my mindset and attitude to feel good about it? Is there a new perspective I can take on? Or is there a different way I can shift where I'm spending my money or how I'm spending my money that I will feel better about and will feel more aligned with me? And at the same time as you're taking this seriously and looking at it in the eye, whatever your relationship is with your finances, you're also being asked to take a lighthearted approach to it. make it into more of a game. Feel like your finances are a bit more of a game that you're playing as opposed to a life and death situation. Not because that's never the case, not because maybe you've experienced things that felt like that in the past, and maybe you also have been in really tough financial situations, maybe even now, and maybe it does feel like that sometimes. But are there times when you can take a more lighthearted approach? Can you start to see it as a game in a way that will help you lighten up your energy around it and help you open up to the idea that you're worthy of more and that you can handle more and you can take on more, and you're both educated enough to do so in terms of practical matters of handling finances, but you're also trusting enough with the universe, trusting enough with spirit to welcome it in and to say, hey, listen, however this is going to happen and whatever like ups and downs might happen in the physical realm, I trust that you've got my back. I trust that this is all going to work out so I can relax a little bit in this area of my life and just see what that does for you. And so, sorry, I just dropped something. That was really loud. I'll try to cut that out. So I'm just going to close this off by actually reading the little snippet from the Angel Answers Oracle that's associated with that abundance card, because I feel like that will be a nice, positive way to end this reading about your relationship with abundance and with your end game and with your future, which is to say that great abundance will find its way into your life. Your plans will yield prosperity, providing a sense of security about the future. Your angels will be with you as you take the actions necessary to manifest your dreams. Abundance is not always financial in nature. You may be seeking to manifest new ideas, a large circle of friends, vibrant health, or romantic love. This card can also reflect an inflow of any of these types of treasures into your life. So keep that in mind too. If like your sense of abundance also, maybe it's not as money focused, maybe it's focused on love and health, and maybe you can also take into account where you have these kinds of abundance in your life already that you might not be appreciating or enjoying as much as you want to because you're focused on where you're lacking it, right? So start to tap into that, because that attitude of gratitude, oh my God, I hate that I said that, but also it's true, that will also help you open up a little bit more and lighten up a little bit more when it comes to your future, and start to see where you have what you want in your future in your present as well. Open your arms to heaven to receive with gratitude that which you desire. Yeah, so that is what your subconscious mind wants to bring to your attention. The actual aspect of what it wants to bring to your attention is really your current attitudes towards wealth and towards the future, and how that might have been shaped even by past memories and by current things that are going on, whether you're even focused on it consciously or not, so that you can directly address it and take any of these steps that we talked about today to create the best possible future for yourself and also the best possible present too. Because I think that some of these things that might have been weighing in the back of your mind or on a subconscious level on you, once they're lifted, will just help you relax a bit more in the present and maybe release some intense emotions or anxiety that might have been coming up for you at this time. So I hope that was really helpful. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to receive more readings like this from this channel. I really appreciate you spending the time here. And if you're interested in a personal reading, we do offer personal readings on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. We also offer hypnosis and human design sessions that might also be helpful in terms of changing your attitude towards many different things in your life. So check that out if you're interested, and have a wonderful life. I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi Group 2, if you selected this Malachite and this quote card, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading with a message from your subconscious mind. So I already have your cards all laid out here. I'm just going to read your quote and then we'll get straight into the messages. So let's get into it. So your quote says, "Any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. If it is a mistake, at least you learn something, in which case it's no longer a mistake. If you remain stuck, you learn nothing." This is from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'm going to read that one more time. "Any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. If it is a mistake, at least you learn something, in which case it's no longer a mistake. If you remain stuck, you learn nothing." Okay. And For your tarot cards over here, we have the Star and the King of Cups. And for your Astro Oracle card over here on the right, we have Libra with the word balance. So I'm going to start with those. So it looks like for group 2, either we're bringing up, your subconscious is bringing up, well, I guess it could be both. They could both be related. Your subconscious mind is bringing up a potential hesitation or fear around taking some kind of action based on a perception of a past mistake. So some of you might have, it could specifically be in the area of relationships as well. Just with Libra here, Libra to me is often about like balancing like the self with the other, relationships, communicating with other people, justice. We have the scales here. So this could be around relationships with other people. And this could be related to specifically maybe actions that you've taken in the past or actions that you're hesitating on taking in the present around your relationships in your life, whether romantic or platonic or familial or just in general. This doesn't have to specifically be about relationships, though, if it's not that for you. It's anything that you're hesitating on, that you're not really sure about taking action on. But with the Star and the King of Cups, well, it's interesting because we have the Star, which is Aquarius, an air sign, and King of Cups, which is Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, the water signs. So there's also... okay. No matter what area of life we're talking about, no matter if it is specifically about relationships or about anything else, we are definitely seeking a balance between detachment and positivity and optimism about the future, keeping an eye on your hopes and dreams and wishes, and your emotional health and your emotional maturity and your awareness of your emotional state. And I feel like there could be some kind of balancing act that's happening right now. You're like learning to balance out those parts of you because you might almost feel like your emotions get in the way of like your spirituality or even just your like, I don't know, your outlook on life, your hopes, your goals, your ideas of like a brighter future of wish fulfillment. Those two things might feel like they're at odds right now because you're seeking a balance between those aspects of yourself. Because you might feel like, there's a feeling of maybe being afraid to go into a situation that could cause you deep emotion, that you might actually have a lot of like attachment to the outcome of, like I'm getting, like the specific example is someone who really wants to, there's a lot of different things that are coming, that's coming through right now actually. There's a hesitation. Your subconscious mind is definitely bringing up either like a specific memory or a specific thing that happened in your life that might, I don't know what it is. I think it's going to be really different for everyone, but I think it's stopping you from doing something right now. Like I'm almost feeling like I'm hesitating to say, like I'm afraid I'm not going to say the right thing. Yeah, there's like a fear of not being able to do or say the right thing to bring about the desired outcome in a certain situation, which could also be related to balancing like this idea of like positive thinking and feeling good about the future with your emotional state. And like, how do you come at something from a place of emotional maturity, right? How do you not get so carried away in what you want that you aren't able to handle what's in the present moment, what is actually happening? And it could also have to do with relationships for you, because it could have to do with maybe some past disappointments or situations that you had with other people that led you to, like, for some people, it's either like the specific situation, which again doesn't have to be about relationships for people, but it's either someone hesitating to enter a relationship or someone hesitating to leave a relationship, right? And it again, this could just be a metaphor for some of you for whatever situations that you're dealing with in your life right now. But there's definitely something around like maybe a time in the past that you took too long to do something, to make some kind of move, or to leave something, a situation or something like that, or to show your true emotions, or to understand how you even felt about something that you felt, where you felt like you took too long or you didn't make the right move and it didn't work out in your favor. And that's causing you to hesitate on a situation in your current life right now, or maybe even to have trouble seeing both sides of a situation in a relationship. Maybe even because, like, I mean, look at this. We have, I'm gonna talk about all your cards now, because we have Libra with balance with these scales here on this card. I don't know if you can see, but that's like scales, like on the Justice card. And then we have the Compromise card from the Angel Answers Oracle deck right under that, where this angel is holding these scales. Like, can you see? There's scales. This is not the order that I was planning to read the cards in, but it doesn't matter. I want to point that out. So there's definitely like something, like something to do with either compromising with two parts of your nature, or compromising with another person or other people in some aspect that you're struggling to do. It's like you're weighing your options still, and you're weighing out whether or not you think that you're ready for something. And with the Empress and the Hanged Man here, yeah. Like, I don't know if this Empress card represents you or someone else in the situation. Maybe there's someone like waiting on you to make some kind of decision, and the Hanged Man is like representative of you hesitating on that. You're just not making the decision, or just the situation itself not moving forward. For some of you also, there's a need to know that like this person or this situation isn't going anywhere, and it's up to you to make a move. Interesting. And with Aquarius, full moon in Aquarius over here, first of all, under the Star card, I mean, that's Aquarius energy right there. Show the world the real you. Yeah, it's wild that we have like Libra with the scales and Compromise with the scales, and then we have the Star with Aquarius and the water bearer pouring the water out. And then we have Aquarius right here as well with the water bearer also pouring the water out. Oh my God, yeah. So this is definitely about some kind of emotional release for you. There's some kind of like, I feel like there's some kind of emotional truth that you've been holding on to that could have to do with a relationship or another person in this situation that's making you hesitate. It's like you're hesitating. There's like you're hesitating to pour your heart out, to be honest, to show the real you to someone else or to something or in some kind of situation in your life. Yeah. But I do feel like with this coming out for you now, there's like a hesitation because you're not sure if you're ready. And it could be because of past experiences where you weren't ready, but it's almost like you are now. You're ready now. And so this is your subconscious mind letting you know that you can let go of the past situations that might have that past feeling of not being ready. And you can make your move. You can reveal your true feelings. You can show the world the real you. And you're ready to create a balanced situation in whatever you're moving towards, whatever you're pouring your heart out to, whoever you're pouring your heart out to, you're ready to compromise. You're ready to work with another person or work with the situation in a mature way, in an emotionally mature way. I feel like there's some of you who might have felt like you just weren't mature enough for a situation in the past. With the Empress, this could definitely be regarding like something like marriage or children or whatever. And so like I'm getting the idea of someone who, whatever gender you are, doesn't matter, just in the past was like, oh, I'm just gonna have like, casual relationships, like I'm not really ready or interested in anything serious, quote unquote, which is totally fine, But I feel like you might have had times when you thought, oh, well, maybe am I, but then you hesitated and it just didn't work out for you, or, your partner moved on, or there was someone who you were interested in, but you're like, this isn't the right time. And it's like, I feel like now it is the right time. And that might involve a certain level of self-trust, and also trust that even if it is the right time for you, even if something doesn't work out, like even if you make a move towards, okay, I'm ready for this kind of serious step, I'm going to start to move in that direction. Even if you make mistakes along the way, even if it's not perfect, that's part of the process, right? You're ready to take the next step and to move up to the next level. In this situation, you have developed enough maturity to take that next step, and now it's time for you to roll with the changes, roll with the potential mistakes that you can make along the way, because that's the only way that you're going to learn and you're going to continue to grow. It's like you've grown to a certain point where you're ready to realize certain dreams. You're ready to pour your heart out to show your true desires to someone or something. This could even be like for like a job opportunity, or like moving up in a workspace as well. I'm definitely getting more of like an emotional nature to this. So whatever this is something you really want. And it really, no matter what, it feels like it probably involves other people as well with the compromise card over here. But it feels like you've taken the time to develop your emotional maturity, to learn more about yourself and what you truly want. And so the natural consequence of that is that you're ready to take the next step. And any hesitation that you are experiencing around the situation is coming from a past identity that is just no longer really aligned with you. It's no longer who you are. You've kind of grown past that. And there was nothing wrong with, in the past, not being ready for certain things. This is just to say and let you know that you are now. And it is what you actually want. And I definitely feel like no matter what, this definitely involves you creating an abundant life in some way with someone else or with other people. This definitely involves some kind of emotional fulfillment for you. And this also involves some kind of fulfillment of a dream or goal or wish, which again might take some time and might take some actions in a certain direction that, like, some things that you might be tempted to call mistakes, but might actually just be stepping stones to you figuring out how to actually move into this new era, how to actually like be this person that you are already. But that's okay, right? That's part of the process. And I feel like you're ready to, maybe some of you like you're ready to accept responsibility for your actions in a way that you weren't before. You're ready to accept making mistakes. Like you have more resilience in terms of like bouncing back or having a new perspective when you do make a mistake in like a relationship or a situation. You're ready to take on more responsibility for that and say, okay, like how can we fix this? How can we make this better? Maybe you're ready to have deeper or more serious or meaningful conversations with people. Maybe you're ready to explore yourself on a deeper level. And it's really just a matter of trusting that you are, that even if you don't feel like you're ready, it's in the experience that you will understand how much you've grown. It's through the experience that you will have an experience and you will not respond to it in a way that you would have in the past, and you will see for yourself that, oh, okay, like this is right. I'm able to handle this. I know what to do. I am strong in myself. I'm mature. I've grown, and I can be fair and balanced, and I can make compromises, and I can be authentic and show my true self in this situation, and not completely lose control. But at the same time, part of the process of developing more emotional maturity is to be able to go through times when things feel messy, when you might make a mistake, or when you feel like you've made a mistake, and to bounce back from that, to come back and just be like, okay, like, what did I learn from this? How can I handle this? How can I move forward? And I feel like you're ready to do that to a greater degree than you were in the past. You're ready for some kind of greater responsibility. You have the emotional fortitude for that. Interesting. So for you guys, I want to close this out by reading actually from the booklets for two of these cards. I wasn't planning to do that for every group, but I'm feeling called to read that for Full Moon in Aquarius and for Compromise. So I'm going to do that. Let me just grab the booklet for the Moonology cards. So, full moon in Aquarius. Let's see. That's very like future oriented, wish fulfillment. Like you're ready to step into a greater level of authenticity and also responsibility. Show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. This card brings the message from the cosmos that you need to detach a little from whatever situation you're asking about. Someone might be keeping you at arm's length now, but it's no bad thing. It's important for you to allow life to unfold and progress, even if change seems like a frightening prospect, yeah. If you've been holding yourself back from showing the world the real you, this card reminds you that your unique characteristics are what make you special. In a relationship, are you being too aloof or detached? Go ahead and be yourself in whatever is coming up for you. Yeah, I feel like maybe this, for a lot of you, I definitely feel like this involves either a relationship specifically or your relationships in general, where you're ready to be a little bit like less detached in the sense of showing your emotions more, showing the truth of how you feel more. You're ready to take that step. And it's not that like detachment is necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's necessary. It's good to have a balance, right? Balance. You know, you can have a balance of being able to be detached from things in that you don't get swept away by the currents of emotions and you don't get so attached to a situation that you feel like you can't survive without it, but at the same time, you're not so detached that you can't get in touch with your actual feelings. Show your true authentic self. Process your feelings with other people and say, hey, this is how that really made me feel. Can we talk about this? Can we work through this? And it might not always be so clean and neat. It might not always feel good or feel nice, but you're able to move through that, to work through that, and to be more honest emotionally with yourself and with others. This also says, attune to the moon. Be aware of your feelings, but also be prepared to move on. Yeah, both is good. Additional meanings for this card. Don't lose the beauty and romance of life. Yeah, so that's where, like, you know, being in touch with your emotions, being able to express them, allows you to tap into romance and beauty and feel those things deeply and allow yourself to be moved by things, by people, by situations, by words, by art, right? You are too much in your head. Get into your heart. Yeah, this is, I feel like, maybe even the balance that you're finding here is between your head and your heart, right? Your detachment and your emotions. Being able to value and feel into and appreciate both aspects. A friend needs you. Be there for them. Also, if that's something that's important, that could be, again, like there's someone who could need you to be there for them. You might also need to ask someone to be there for you. And a situation is going to take a very unexpected turn. Yeah, I feel like no matter what, you stepping out and taking some kind of action that you've maybe been hesitating towards will lead to many unexpected turns, but that's exciting. I think that's really welcome in this case. And the teaching. Every full moon is a time to release and let go, but the addition of Aquarius energy to the mix triples that message. Aquarius is the opposite of clingy, and pulling this card at any time suggests either you need to let go or someone is thinking they are the one who needs to let go, perhaps of you. What needs to go? What is the right thing to do? Whatever happens next could be highly unconventional or unexpected. And I feel like for you, letting go in this case might have to do with letting go of mistakes of the past or letting go of a fear of taking action or a fear of making a mistake. That will lead to unexpected changes because you are finally taking whatever action it is here that you're meant to be taking. That I definitely feel like involves expressing yourself and expressing your emotions and showing the real you to someone. And working with someone else in some capacity or working with some aspect of you in a balanced way. So let's read let's read the booklet for the card that says compromise from this booklet, and then we'll close out. Compromise, where are you? Compromise. Oh, here we are. In order to create a happy outcome for this situation, you will find it necessary to compromise. Allow yourself some time to become clear about what is truly important to you. Also take note of matters where you should be open to changing your position. Work towards an agreement where everyone wins. Be open to cooperation that would allow you to get what you need while also assisting others in fulfilling their desires. Be objective about finding a balance between respecting everyone else's viewpoints and still being true to your own. Yes, which makes so much sense, especially if this is revolving around any kind of relationships in your life, because that's really what Libra and compromise is all about, is being able to take your own personal perspective into account with another person's perspective, being able to work with both, being able to understand both, being open to understanding a perspective you might not have understood before from a new perspective, which requires emotional maturity. It requires you to let go of your attachment to certain beliefs and perspectives you might have previously had, and to be open-minded to a different way of seeing things and a different way of experiencing things. And yet also not getting lost in someone else's perspective and not getting lost in someone else's emotions and someone else's experience either. Being able to hold the two and also let go of the two as needed, as necessary, to have a balance. Yeah. And there's definitely, but with the King of Cups and the Empress here, there's a really gentle feeling to this energy. So I feel like regardless of what specific situation this is around, it's like you're expressing yourself in a very gentle and real, honest way, and maybe even likely receiving the same in return. And for some of you, you might be balancing the scales in the sense of you're returning affection and emotion and respect. Even I just heard nurturing, even that you've received, you're returning that, whether to the person that you received it from, but you're also returning it, maybe you're giving it forward, right? You're tapping into the part of you that wants to also be able to give that kind of energy as well. And you're also being open, maybe you're also opening yourself up to receive more of that nurturing, that caring, emotional, loving energy, open to receiving the truth of someone else, right? Yeah. You're ready for that step. You're ready to make some mistakes along the way, but learn from them, and you'll be just fine. You'll be able to handle it. Cool. All right. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more readings like this. And if you're interested in personal tarot readings, we offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. We also offer human design and hypnosis sessions. So if you want to learn more about that, also check it out on our website. Thanks again. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this reading, and I hope you have a wonderful life. I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, Group 3. If you selected this Tiger's Eye star pendant, then you're in the right place. Or this quote card here, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading with a message from your subconscious mind. So as you can see, I already have cards laid out here for you. So we're going to read your quote and then just get right into your messages today. So your quote, well, you got two of these actually. So your first quote says, "Expectations were like fine pottery. The harder you held them, the more likely they were to crack." From The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And then you also got this card, which has this like kind of curvy arrow going all the way back onto itself, and then all these colors here. And it says, "When you live for many hundreds of years, you know that every opportunity will come again." And this is from The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. And then for your tarot card over here, you have the Eight of Cups. For your astrology card over here, you have the South Node with the keyword of past and the number 33. Then for your moon cards down here, you have Nothing is Yet Set in Stone with Mutable Moon. The Answers You Need Are Coming with Full Moon in Gemini. And then your Thoth tarot card has the Two of Cups with the keyword of love in reverse. And then you have this Angel Answers card with the word success. An exclamation point there. All right. So Group 3, what is your subconscious mind wanting to let you know right now? Well, this is definitely around, first of all, the past, something to do with your past, and expectations. Those are the two big takeaways I'm getting right away from these cards here. So I feel like there's a big message here about expectations from your past, either from how you grew up, how you were raised, or maybe from experiences that you had in your past. somehow repeating or having some kind of influence on how you experience your present. And I do feel like this is feeding into a maybe even subconscious tendency that you have to be very hard on yourself. Maybe even harder on yourself than you realize that you're being. With the Two of Cups card here in reverse with love, I feel like this is about your self-love, your relationship with yourself, but also how you experience love, or maybe even ways that you cut yourself off from love, whether, self-love or even from relationships in your life around you. That has to do with how hard you are on yourself, and maybe also the difficulty that you have with letting go of experiences in the past where you might feel like you've missed out on an opportunity or not made the right choice or didn't meet your own expectations, or even where situations or people from your past didn't meet your expectations. So that is something that your subconscious mind wants to bring to your attention right now, because it's important for your self-love journey to become aware of these tendencies so that you can start to undo them a little bit, to shift your identity around expectation and shift your expectations themselves, maybe, especially when it comes to the expectations that you put on yourself and put on others or even current situations in your life because of past experiences. Because as the mutable moon reminds us over here, nothing is yet set in stone. And you may be someone who is prone to creating or subconsciously aligning with expectations that you have based on past experiences that kind of make everything that happens in your life a foregone outcome. So like a foregone conclusion. So it's like, oh, well, obviously, like if we're talking about, say, relationships here, saying that, well, this relationship in the past didn't work out because of X, Y, and Z. So obviously this one's not going to work out here. Or, oh, I said the wrong thing in that conversation, so obviously now that person hates me and this relationship's going nowhere, so I'm just gonna not pay attention to it, not foster it, and not expect anything else. And with the mutable moon here, you're being asked to be more flexible in your mindset, flexible in your outlook, and notice where you might have the unconscious or subconscious tendency to cut off opportunities or to be really hard on yourself when you seem to miss out on certain opportunities because you have this expectation that nothing is working out for you or that you are never making the right decisions. Nothing is yet set in stone. The mutable moon reminds you that it's up to you. Nothing is yet set in stone. Maybe even if there's a specific situation in your life right now where you're having trouble being optimistic about it, or you feel like you might be really clinging to it because of past expectations, the mutable moon reminds you that things can always change. Nothing is set in stone, and you don't have to respond to things in the same way that you might have once done. You don't have to respond to things in the same way that you did in the past, right? That opportunities do come again. So even if you feel like you messed something up or you missed out on an opportunity, expect that it's going to come again. Make that part of your expectations, right? And remember that you have as many chances as you are willing to give yourself. So don't get so caught up on the moment to moment, always making the quote unquote right move, or being really hard on yourself if you feel like you didn't make the right move, because you're being asked to zoom out and see how sometimes something that looks like a bad thing or a problem actually turns out to be a blessing in disguise, or actually turns out to be a really helpful step on a journey that you didn't even realize you were on, right? And I feel like you don't have all the information. So if there's a specific scenario that's coming to mind that's being affected by this in your present, you're also being reminded that you don't have all the answers, but the answers that you need are coming. So you might need to open your mind a bit and be willing to be open to knowledge and truth and communication even that you didn't expect, or that didn't fit into your previous worldview that maybe was created by certain disappointments of your past, or certain situations where certain things didn't work out in the way that you wanted them to. It's like you don't have all the answers yet. You actually don't know everything that you need to know in order to make the decisions that you want to make. And so be easy on yourself. And also there's a message here about allowing for the fact that you don't know everything. And so at any given moment, whenever you're making decisions, you're working with the knowledge that you have at the time. So there might be a tendency for you to get really caught up in, oh my God, if I'd only known that, I wouldn't have done X, Y, or Z. Oh, if I'd only known that, I could have done that, you know? And getting stuck on past moments where we feel like we missed out on an opportunity, where we didn't make the right move, or where we didn't have certain knowledge that we would have liked to have before we made a certain kind of decision, getting really stuck on that, that prevents you from seeing when the opportunities come up again, how you can make a different move, how you can make a different choice, and trusting yourself to be able to do so. And this is coming up for you right now because success is imminent. Success is in your future. It's even in your present. And you might just not be able to see where it is happening for you because some of these past expectations or experiences are still subconsciously informing how you see yourself, right? You might actually be someone who's learned from your past, but you might not be able to see how you have because you're still trying to convince yourself that you have, but you actually have. And so it's time for you to let yourself off the hook and to go easy on yourself and to understand that everything is part of the process. So situations where we might not have seen the full facts of something before we made a decision, or situations where we might have made a choice that we decided after the fact wasn't the best one for us, those are how we learn. We wouldn't have had that, we wouldn't have the perspective that we have on that now without that experience, right? And so you're being asked to change your identity around how you see yourself and the expectations you set for yourself, because I feel like you might have the tendency to subconsciously like see yourself as a failure or as not a very successful person because of past quote unquote mistakes or opportunities you missed. And yet success is staring you right in the face. Like, it's like, no, like if you just shifted your identity around that, if you just let go of some of those past decisions or past situations, you would actually see and understand how successful that you are in your own way and in your present. And also the opportunities for success that are still available to you, that are coming to you every day, right? It's like not getting so caught up on like that one situation that didn't work out, so that you can witness and also welcome all of the new opportunities that will work out, that are working out, that have worked out, right? So you might be used to identifying more with the stuff that doesn't work out and less used to identifying more with the stuff that does and enjoying the stuff that does. And that's the subconscious tendency that your mind wants to bring to the forefront for you right now, because this success that is that you want is here for you, right? And in order to open up to it, you have to ease up on yourself. You have to let your past go. And you have to be willing to understand the mutable nature of things, that things are always changing and shifting, and that your past is not set in stone any more than your future is. You don't have to focus only on the parts of the past that are painful or hurtful. That's not the only thing that's ever existed. Actually, you might be someone who would benefit from realigning your memories of the past to align more with things that did work out. Because it's kind of like you might have a tendency to focus on the things that didn't work out, the opportunities you didn't take, the opportunities you missed, without really noticing the stuff that you did take advantage of, the stuff that you did do right, the stuff that you did, you were happy with, that did work out, right? And you might just need to align more with that part of your experience, right? Because that's all part of your experience. Your subconscious mind might be more the parts of you that you have trouble reconciling with might be the parts of you that you're more used to putting more emphasis on or focusing on, or they might be the parts of you that, even if you're not consciously aware of, are more controlling the decisions that you make now. But once you become aware of that, you can start to just shift your focus to, okay, but like, when did I make the right move? Or like, when did I meet my expectations? Or are these expectations I even had for myself fair, you know? Like, or when something didn't work out in the way that I expected it to, like, how have I learned to pivot, right? And when did I do that? And how can I do that in my present? You know, what did I learn from those situations? And once you see it from that perspective, you might be surprised at the picture of yourself that you get. And you might not honestly be aware of how important self-love is for you right now in this moment in order to get to a mindset of success. But it is very important. And there might also be relationships in your life that could be suffering for your lack of attention or focus on them, or your lack of self-love and self-belief. Maybe even suffering from, if you have like a certain like specific or high level of expectations for yourself or others, that might be getting in the way of you also connecting with others on a level of love, right? Because love, especially true and unconditional love, isn't based on expectation. It's not based on I expect this of you and you expect that of me, in terms of it's not so hard and firm in terms of like expectation, right? It's gentle, it's kind, it's easy, and it's compassionate. And that doesn't mean that in relationships we don't have expectations for one another and that we don't fulfill them or respect our partner's needs and wants and things like that. No, we take those into consideration. We take those into our experience, but we do that from a place of love and assurance that, and a sense that that's worth it, that that's what we want to do. And we're able to put our best foot forward. And even when we fall short, we're able to come back with compassion and say, okay, you know what? Like, I can learn from this. I can come back from this. We can work through this together, right? And as long as someone else is able to meet you on the same level and work with you on that same level, then it's easier to move through things, to move past things, to let things go. You can do that with other people, and you can also do that with yourself. Self-love and compassion are really important, especially when you're moving on from and moving through things that were disappointing, that you might have been really hard on yourself about in the past. It's like you can let that go. You can go easy on yourself, and you can start to identify your successes in the present and in the past, and open up to success in the future, as opportunities that you might have once missed will come around to you and might even be more aligned with who you truly are and what you truly want. Maybe, you know, the job that you left, that you regret leaving or something like that, maybe it actually it wouldn't have lasted anyway. Maybe it wouldn't have worked out. Maybe you wouldn't have liked it for that much longer. Maybe you left to find a better job. Maybe the relationship that didn't work out, maybe it wasn't all your fault. Or maybe you just weren't aligned on certain things with the other person, but that doesn't mean that either of you were in the wrong, or it also doesn't mean that either of you are fundamentally flawed as people. You might have just not been compatible, right? Just shifting your mind around to start to see things from a more compassionate lens, so that you can bring that more compassionate lens with you into the present and the future, which will allow you to be more welcoming of new opportunities, to try something new, to try a new relationship and see where that leads, and maybe have it turn out better, and take a new job, take a new financial path that works out even more in your favor, right? Yeah, we're just recognizing where past things that you've let go of, past opportunities you feel you've missed, past times when you feel like you or situations haven't met your expectations, where you can let those go now, where you can let that expectation of repeating the past go, and open up to something new, something that's not so set in stone, something that is a little bit more unexpected, and meet yourself and others with compassion through your new experiences and through whatever path that life takes you on that leads you to your success. So let me just close this by reading from the Angel Answers Oracle booklet about success, so that we can close this out with a nice positive message about the success that is inevitable for you. Let me see if I can find it in this booklet. Success, here you are. All right. Success. Congratulations, you're on the road to success. You needn't have any reservations about your situation, as it's going to work out beautifully. Part of living a successful life is taking care of yourself. It's wonderful to have many things to be grateful for, but make sure you don't wear yourself down by working too hard. Take time to enjoy peace in your life. Yeah, exactly. And that just speaks to, first of all, assuring you that you can take on this new identity as feeling successful and this feeling that things will work out, and also helping you see how, like, taking care of yourself, self-love, is important to that process. It's important to the process of success. So there might be, this last message is coming through, but there might be this feeling that because of some of the things that you might be really hard on yourself about, even subconsciously, you might be really hard on yourself to the point where you feel like you have to work really hard, and you have to even, like, inconvenience yourself or even hurt yourself, maybe not like deliberately, but emotionally or like physically, just neglecting your health in order to earn or deserve success. And it's like, no, not at all. There's no deserving or earning here when it comes to success or loving yourself. It's about taking care of yourself along the road to your success, because if you're trying to get to a place where you feel like you've earned your success or you deserve it, you're just not going to get there until you let go of that idea. You're just not, because you're always going to find ways that you don't deserve it. You're always going to find reasons to justify not having earned success. You're going to find reasons to justify why you're not successful, even if you start making a lot of money or get the relationship you want or have the life situation that you have. You can always find reasons why you're not successful, why you made a mistake in the past, why that choice that you made was the wrong one, until you start to learn how to see your success in your current life right now, until you start to learn how to see yourself as worthy and deserving in the moment, until you start to see your past through a more compassionate lens and yourself through a more compassionate lens. Nothing will ever be enough. Nothing will ever fill that hole. Nothing will ever let you off the hook until you let you off the hook. And so that's what this is letting you know it's time to do. Let yourself off the hook for your past failures. Open yourself up to your present and future success, and also to the past successes that you might just be ignoring because you don't feel like you're worthy of acknowledging them. You are, and you are most definitely on the road to even more success. So congratulations. I hope you can open yourself up to receive that message. I hope that you can let yourself off the hook, and that's all we've got for this reading. So please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're interested in a personal tarot reading, we do offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. And we also offer hypnosis and human design, which can also help you further change your attitude about yourself and about life and let go of any limitations that you have as well. So if you're interested in that, also check that out. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye.